Hello, and welcome to episode number 5 of our Quality Quick Tips series. My name is Jeff Watson, and I am a program coordinator with the Research Planning and Evaluation Division of the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. As always, after you watch the video, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please contact us at the email dhhs.cqi@nebraska.gov. For this episode, we are focusing on key nFocus enhancements. These nFocus enhancements were made available as part of the August 10th, 2014 release, and additional updates will be made in the November 10th, 2014 release. Some of the goals of this episode are to demonstrate the improvements to nFocus related to family relationships and engagement, notifying relatives and recording the response, and also notifying the courts of your efforts to notify those relatives. We also want you to know how to update these areas of nFocus when new information becomes available during the life of the case. The first thing we're going to take a look at in our Quality Quick Tip video is the Family Relationship Summary on nFocus. If you navigate into your program case, we'll find here our Shannon family and go into the detailed program case. If you want to look at the relationships for any of the children or the parents in the case, just go ahead and select them in your program case persons window. We'll pick Eric, and this icon over here is your Family Relationship Summary. By clicking on it, it will give you all the relationships for that program person. So for Eric Shannon, you can see that he has 3 siblings up here, 4 siblings, and then both of his biological parents. Mary A. Shannon is a bio parent, and Sean Shannon is another bio parent. If you scroll over, you can see if parental rights are intact and if there's a deceased date for those individuals. Family relationships cannot be updated in this system. You can just view them. You can update them in the expert system, but in the Family Relationship Summary window, they are just for your viewing. The second nFocus enhancement that we will be covering is the Relative Notices icon. You use this icon to notify known relatives of DHHS involvement and seek out additional supports or placements for youth in our care. This system is an easy way to keep track of relatives that you've notified and also the responses that you've received from them. So we're back in the detailed program case for the Shannon family. The Relative Notices icon is right here next to these other icons you use frequently. Clicking on this icon will show you the children that are in out-of-home placement for the case and any relatives that have already been identified. To add a relative is the first step, so we'll go ahead and go through that. We want to select Search Relative. So click the Search Relative icon. We'll look here. We're going to add Mary Jones as a relative for these children. So we'll search for them. We'll find Mary Jones, and then we'll blue arrow back and see Mary Jones is now added as a relative. Something you might run into is adding a relative that is not currently on nFocus. So if you want to do that, we'll go ahead and search relative again. We'll find somebody we'll try to add, such as Peter Rabbit, and he's not on nFocus. So you'll hit OK, cancel, and it'll ask you, person is not found, would you like to add them to nFocus? And select yes. We'll go ahead and add them, add any information that you currently know about the person, and click Perform Clearance, and it'll go ahead and add them as well. So the next step we want to do is add the relationship. We've added the relatives in here into the relative box. We want to add the relationship between the children and the relatives. So if we highlight both of the children, and we'll pick Mary, for example, we'll add a relationship. Under the relationship type, there are several different options we can choose, including alleged father, grandparents, both paternal and maternal, several other options including cousins, step-grandparents. Down at the bottom, there's non-relative relationship. This can be included for child-specific placements, such as if there's a family friend or a pastor that you'd like to add here and send the notice to, you can go ahead and do that here. Also, tribal relationships is a good thing to do as well. So we'll go ahead and pick Mary Jones as let's do paternal aunt for this family, and we'll hit OK. So now we've added the relationship. The next thing we want to do is add a notification. We want to notify them that Eric and Michelle are involved with DHHS. We're looking for supports or things like that. So we'll go ahead and click Eric and Michelle again. We'll pick Mary. We'll go ahead and add a notification. In this window, this is your detail relative notification window. We want to select both of the children. We're going to do a contact to Mary Jones for both of these children. We're going to put the date of the contact as 10/20/2014. And under type, there's several different things that you can do. Do a phone call if you got a hold of them on the phone and you want to just notify the system. We can do a letter, which will actually automatically generate a letter for you to send. If you talk to them in person, say on your home visit, you can go ahead and add that here. There's several other options down below: fax, email, and social media. For the purposes of this example, we'll go ahead and do a letter. All right, now if you go ahead and back out and save, it'll say that she does not currently have an address on InFocus. If Mary Jones, or the relative that you do select, does have an address, this window won't show up. But to add an address, we'll go ahead and select the person detail icon. We'll go to addresses, and we'll update an address for Mary Jones. We'll just come up with something quickly. Smith Lane, put her in. All right, now we added the address for her. And we should be able to close and save. It's going to print the letter for you, so it does want you to put in the phone number. So we're going to go ahead and add a phone number that someone can reach you if they do want to respond to your letter. Next, it's going to ask you to go ahead and print the letter. We're going to cancel that step for the purposes of this demonstration. And if we save and close it, and there we go. We have sent the notifications to Mary Jones, who's the paternal aunt. We have not got a response from her yet, but we did go ahead and send the notification. If you do get a response back from her, you can go ahead and add that here as well. For these two children, for Mary Jones, we want to add notification. We want to say, again, for the two relatives that we got a response back. And these options include can provide a home, cannot provide a home, cannot provide a home at this time, can be a support person, cannot be a support person, cannot be a support person at this time, or no response received. Generally, it's good to go ahead and update this when you do get a response from the person. If it's been a long time in a case and you haven't received anything, you can come back in and update this as no response received. For Mary Jones, we're going to say that we did get a response from her. Let's do the same day. And we got a response of can provide a home. So we'll go ahead and update that. We'll save and close that as well. And then it'll show up here in this window that Mary Jones, we did get a response of can provide a home, and the date that we got a response. So after you've notified relatives regarding possible placement or ongoing involvement with the family, you're also required to send a notice to the court regarding your efforts to notify those relatives. So in the same window on InFocus under Relative Notices, we're going to go up here to Actions, Create Notice to Court. We're going to go ahead and pick Eric as our child. We'll go ahead and pick his parents, as we're going to add them down here. You can have up to 4 different parents. We're going to pick Sean and Mary and add them as the parents. We want to pick a court to notify, so whichever county your court is in, pick Blaine. If you know the court docket and page number, go ahead and add them here so they'll show up on the printout in the notice to court. And then prepared by is where you'll pick your name as a worker. And essentially that's it. Once we hit OK here, this will actually be printed in the overnight InFocus printing process and be sent out through the central office mail. If you want to view the notice and view what it looks like and that's being sent to court, or go ahead and send it yourself, you can come up here to the correspondence window, click on search, and it'll show up any new correspondence that was created in the last search period. So the one we just created was to the Blaine County Court. You can look at it here and see it's going to be printed tonight to go to the batch process, or you can right click on it and go to print preview. Unfortunately for this demonstration it won't let us look at what that looks like, but it'll show up your court notice there and you can print it yourself if you'd like to do that. Thank you for watching this Quality Quick Tip series. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please contact the dhhs.cqi@nebraska.gov email address and we will get back to you.